Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. So let's get straight into it.
It's like it's Minute Maid, hijack 4, renegade, 24, number 8, Kobe shit fade away, ballin' since 11th grade, still in school, let them hate.
So I'm probably doing something that I shouldn't be doing right now, but I just have one of those gut instincts that I just simply cannot avoid. So here's how the story goes. I'm over here in my sanctuary, my room, just thinking about just how much talent the NBA has and coming up in the next few years. It's honestly shocking and surprising because we're watching the new age of basketball break and create records. And then I started to think about all the great guards that we have currently to watch as well. Starting out with the likely best young guard in the NBA, Luka Doncic. Man was getting heavy talks about being the greatest 20-year-old basketball player ever, and he most likely might have just been that. Mans is on another level of special. So special that he is already widely regarded as a top 10 player in the NBA. And his peer Trae Young will be on the way soon once his organization gets his stuff together. Trae is a walking highlight reel and does something worthy of being viral every other night. He's also going to be a surefire superstar in the league. Not even a hater can deny that. The convo just doesn't stop there though, because another beast out of South Carolina has been making hella noise as of recent. Another one of those must-see TV type of guards. It's very likely that he ends up being a top 3 PG in the NBA in the next few years. And just right when you and I thought we were set in the NBA when it came to young guards, here comes the class of 2021 roaring their way into the scene real soon. I don't want to speak too much on these prospects because of course they still have a lot to prove. But all I gotta say is that Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green may add on to the influx of talented guards that we already have. The future of the NBA is stupid, right? And just thinking about it gets me excited. But through this excitement, I just started to realize something. Tell me why I just started to think about and realize that due to all these talented guards turning up in the NBA, that one of the most talented guards who literally just got a lot of shine last year is pretty much, an afterthought. And I have a feeling that he's scheduled to be the NBA's next victim. Mike Conley, Jrue Holiday, and some may even say Damian Lillard. All three of these guards have one major thing about them in common. Actually, okay, maybe more than one, but we're just going to be focusing on one of their traits. And all of them used to, if not regarded now, as one of the most underrated PGs in the league. Not because of their subpar numbers, major lack of team success, or even lack of excitement to their game. They're mainly thought as underrated guards simply because of, the spotlight and also who was playing in front of them. The Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry's, and Chris Paul's of the world were just way too big of stars to overcome. The name, the light, the shine, and even the numbers will always tend to lean their way. And things haven't begun to change at all until CP3 has started to step out of his prime. Dame is the only one out of the three to survive, and now he's widely regarded as a top 3 PG. Jrue and Mike Conley were always well respected on and off of the court, especially by their peers, but just never got the chance to step into that elite tier because they weren't talented enough thanks to these guys. Now when you look at Mike Conley and Jrue Holiday's careers, you would think that, these guys are multiple time all-stars, but that's not the case at all. In fact, combined, they have one All-Star appearance. And that All-Star appearance wasn't even in the Western Conference. It was back in the East when Jrue Holiday was hella young. That's just further proving my point. It felt like they were drowned in a pool of talent and just simply weren't the strongest swimmers. And I feel like I have a pretty good idea of a player who could play victim just like them in the next few years. But that's only if this person doesn't end up being a strong swimmer like Dame, which he very well could be. I want you to throw out your guesses right now and go crazy in the comments. And also, go ahead and like the video because why not? It helps my channel a lot and also it brings a smile to my face. So since the 2017 NBA draft, a lot of unexpected things happened. Bam Adebayo looks like he may end up being the best big out of that class. Malik Monk, who was viewed as a complete steal, reeked for the most part of his career. And the two most hyped up point guards out of the class, Fultz and Zoe, haven't and may not ever be viewed as the best PG from their draft. That crown belongs to the topic or victim of this video, DeAaron Fox, aka the 6'3" left-handed PG out of Sacramento. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I can't be the only one who thinks like this. I know I'm not, because no one talks about DeAaron Fox anymore. How and why does it feel like he doesn't exist anymore? Just last year, Mans drew a ton of buzz around the NBA, and now all of a sudden his clout tokens have been stolen by guys in the league like Trae Young, Luka Doncic, and the biggest culprit of them all, Ja Morant. Mans committed a murder. He snatched the man's soul, and nowadays nobody talks about DeAaron Fox when it comes to talking about one of the best young guards in the NBA, as if he didn't just average 20 points and 7 assists a game on 47% shooting from the field with good defense. Fox was consistently being recognized recognized as one of the NBA's best young guards that they had to offer. But his hype train has slowly died down, and the hype has bordered onto another train that contains all these superior talents. Now, Fox's situation in SAC and his season overall didn't help his case at all. He's literally giving us all a recipe on how to be the most underrated point guard in the NBA one day. Now, first off, the Sacramento Kings regressed heavy from last year, mostly due to injuries from Fox himself and other key players, which caused chaos in their rotation. And on top of all that, they just got a new head coach, which really shouldn't even be their new head coach. They should have kept the man from last year. Right when they had one of the more impressive growth seasons in a very long time, things are just going down the drain for them currently. And DeAaron has damn near all things going against him right now. And peeking outside the window are future talents waiting to stomp out his name and put it out for good. DeAaron Fox very well might be left in the dust, not because he's not good, but because of his situation. He isn't set up to be one of the best. Like, no BS. Let me know if you know someone like this. If so, bless their hearts. I've yet to meet a human being who truly misses watching Sacramento play basketball and watch their young core, which isn't even all that young at all. Their third and second best player are like 27 years old. But back to the main point, nothing is really in favor of DeAaron Fox. And because of that, I find it very hard to believe that he'll be a multiple-time All-Star in his career in the West. It's just way too deep out there. Now, yes, his style of play is exciting to the eye and fun to watch, but it isn't on the same level as Luka or Ja Morant out in the West. And I'm gonna be honest, we've seen players like him in the past before. He's easily comparable to former stars, and it doesn't feel like he'll be a superstar talent, but rather a consistent all-star talent, who isn't an all-star though for a multitude of reasons. Now, it's tough and real tragic, but it's the truth. There's way too many similarities from underrated PGs from the past who's had a similar situation as Fox. But regardless of the fact though, Fox is still one of the most talented guards in the league, and is one of the best young PGs in his position. He has high flying ability and crazy speed along with his improved playmaking skills. All that, I believe, will cause people to view him as the most underrated PG in just 3 to 4 years from now. But I just hope that isn't the case, because he'll be losing out on so many important accolades to solidify his legitimacy as a star in the league. So here's some things that might need to happen in order to prevent this crime scene from happening. First and foremost, he has to improve his play. Now, it's not like he's bad or not good enough already. It's just that he really needs to step on the gas and step on his competition's neck and try to prove people like me and many people around the world that Ja and Trey aren't miles ahead of him as talents in the NBA. Please prove me wrong. DeAaron also has to become a much better shooter from 3. Now, he didn't shoot as many threes at all this season and just his entire NBA career, simply because that's just not a part of his game yet. But if he's going to be shooting 3 threes per game in the NBA today, which is virtually nothing as a PG, he has to be more efficient than 30%, because that big fat 3-0 is just filthy, it's dirty, it's disgusting next to his stat sheet. His team also has to get their act together. This isn't on him at all. It's all about fate, and at this point, this is out of his control. But if at least just one of these things can happen, whether he improves his game drastically or his team improves drastically, I promise you he won't be viewed as a victim at all. But I'm not gonna lie, I gotta be real here. I could be wrong, but I think it may be too late for him to recover. There's too much ground to cover and try to catch up. And that's why I made this video. I'm predicting that this man, DeAaron Fox, will either be one of the most or the most underrated PGs or players in general in the NBA, and that he'll miss out on so many opportunities that were deserved, because teams like the Grizzlies and Mavs are on a continuous climb, led by their best star player. And hell, I'd even go as far as saying this: I think Alonzo Ball is more likely, has a better chance of making an all-star game before DeAaron Fox. And I ain't gonna lie, that's all types of effed up, because we all know this. DeAaron Fox is levels ahead of Zoe. He's just simply plain out point blank period more talented than him. But I believe Zoe is more likely to make one, because first off, he's been improving his game rapidly, and secondly, his team is more lit and are levels ahead of their rebuild compared to Sacramento, who have been struggling. I present to you the NBA's next victim, DeAaron Fox. He's going to be trapped very soon, but who knows? That's just my belief, and only time can tell the truth. This is the end of the video though, man. I really do appreciate you for coming over here on my channel and seeing what I have to talk about today. That is, as always, extremely dope. Now, before I go ahead and do the rest of my outro, I have a very important message for you. I'm just gonna put it like this: simple. If you want me to upload more consistently, throughout the week, I'm gonna need to feel your energy. You guys are gonna have to want and show me. How can you show me? By liking this video, commenting under this video, show me that you're watching my video on Instagram. I love it when you do that stuff, and that honestly motivates me to go ahead and push out more. Screw the money, screw the views, screw everything. That stuff don't motivate me. Seeing you guys love whatever I put out, that does. So go ahead and do those things for me, and you already know the rest. I'm not gonna give you all the whole spiel, but out of everything that I just said, I want you to make sure that you go ahead and make your day great. But until next time, I'm out.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made it free to way, Told my girl who'd ever thought.